Yeah, absolutely. I think that we're getting ready to go into here. We go. So we're gonna go ahead and start out here on night market. So what I'm expecting to see here, you can obviously run rush composition here. I think brawl works here as well, especially if you're using a Symmetra to get yourself onto the point and just establish your dominance and your presence on the point. You don't necessarily have to keep them, but if you do decide to keep them, bringing in a Doomfist along with, like, if you see Andog flashing here on the side of Cincinnati, you could absolutely just batter the team, burn down shields once you get to the microwave beam of Symmetra up to level 3, and then it's just going to be easy sailing from there.
Absolutely, both teams rolling out this Ryan Winston composition. A little interesting to me, not something you generally see, but I trust the University of Delaware to make this work. Both teams are going to teleport up into that high window, and it's going to be an absolute brawl on point. Burnout will fall early. It is not what you want for the University of Delaware. That Baptiste provides so much healing that you just can't do much without it. They'll try and run through the door, but you have Reginald there to just send them all off the side. And University of Cincinnati will take a strong first fight.
Yep, speed kills, and a really good Lucio player is not nothing to shake a stick at either. Look at Windmill's, look at his ult charge already though, 85% to that first shatter, and you see a complete composition swap from Delaware. Now they're going to bring the poke in. Also a little bit more CC coming in with the Sigma.
That it is, you have that Sigma, you have the Sigma Rock, which can interrupt a lot of, ultimates, it can stun people. Andog going to take Savix down very low, and oh no, Chu goes down really early, and like you said, when the Baptiste goes down, there's just not as much sustain. For the side of University of Cincinnati, Gordy will take down Kazia as well, and it's just completely clear for the University of Cincinnati getting melted now as they go further and further. Burnout will find some of the last picks, and eventually the stall will end with Delaware taking the point.
Yep, and I mean, I think it's a Zenyatta difference right now. That Discord orb is absolutely showing up in spades right now for Burnout and the University of Delaware. They're absolutely focusing down those discorded targets. So, I mean, right now, if you're Cincinnati, you're going to have to really rush on top of them. Get in there, go in on tempo, use that speed, or use the sound barrier to get on top of them and really force the fight.
Oh, Stevie gets Milk very early. Milk was trying to go for some cheeky flanks very close to that ultimate. Speaking of close to that ultimate, Ice very close, going to copy Lucio and get immediately demolished. There comes the beat, and the University of Cincinnati is going to use that and be really aggressive off of it. Gordy will use the ultimate, not going to find any picks. Will take down Reginald, but it looks to be just a drop in the bucket. Speedy with 1 HP in a dream will go down to Milk. We're going to try and contest this. The point does flip over to Cincinnati, but Milk is there to try and keep it going using the barrage. It's winnable, Milk says, but it's like the Reinhardt doesn't think as much. She will go down from Ice, and University of Delaware in that time is actually able to stagger back, and a ball will come back in. The point did flip. So now the University of Delaware staggering in. This might be a mistake for them, but now they're back in full force.
Indeed, I mean, they popped that Transcendence rather early, and they don't have anything to save against this Graviton Surge that comes in here. You got Grav Dragons ready to go, but not able to get it off. Closing in on Final Fight territory here if they don't get a flip here soon.
That is important. They have gotten a lot of picks, but the University of Cincinnati is not ready to stop Lucio riding along those walls at the speed of sound, just stalling out this point, preventing Delaware from getting the ticks and waiting for his teammates to come back. The Reinhardt windmill just swinging for the fences now. Here comes the high noon, gonna get slammed up into the air, making it a really high noon, and overtime will take away. The Echo just barely able to get onto the point, as well as Bar and Mercy. Ice will switch over to the Reinhardt, of course, with that copy, just going to get immediately taken down, I think shattered by Windmill, and that will be round 1, with Cincinnati taking it.
You know, and I thought that Delaware had the winning combination there when they brought out the longer range poke of the Echo and the Pharah. I thought they were going to absolutely be able to keep the control of the point, but the swaps that came out from Cincinnati, bringing out Silver Talon on the Diva, and then O-Speed and Andog bringing out the Hanzo and McCree respectively, they absolutely adapted to what was being presented to them by University of Delaware. Delaware did not have a chance really to get the flip back over once you saw the switches come out. And man, I think that Transcendence that came out from Burnout, if they would have saved it for that grab, I think they probably would have held on to that point a lot longer than they did, and it would have been a lot closer than it was.
Absolutely. Now on this rollout for coming in on the second round, we have Milk on the Junkrat. Junkrat has a lot of burst damage, can do a lot of mayhem, and Delaware is just going to run into the University of Cincinnati. Burnout will take down Windmill, and when you lose this Reinhardt, very, very important, the linchpin of the rush composition. The tanks will go down as well. Milk just finding all those final blows. Not a lot of damage, but still going to charge up that ultimate. Savage is at 70% in climbing.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of ult gain right there. He was just swinging with impunity. That Zarya right now, allowing him to really press the issue into it. I think that if you're Cincinnati right now, you've got to match the brawl. You've got to get behind Delaware and really bring it into what they're trying to bring here.
Oh, the Fire Strike window will take down Speedy. Chu as well will fall, and University of Delaware not even going to wait for Cincinnati to walk through that choke. They're just going to do the damage and take Delaware down.
Yeah, I mean, getting out of LOS of that amp matrix is absolutely crucial when you're facing that much damage. And I mean, you've got a window of your own. You've also got a sound barrier ready to go. So you go ahead and launch it and get the damage onto the point and try to get your position on the point here.
And that's what they're going to do. Chu will use the amplification matrix to make sure that the University of Delaware can't really stay on the point without the fear of getting hit by that window, but the grab and the shatter are going to be there to just take down the University of Cincinnati and group them all up for Milk to throw in the Riptire.
Yeah, I mean, right now they're just absolutely focusing down. They're calling out their targets. They're getting everything that they want out of these fights. A little bit expensive out of that last fight, though. You did use both of your tank ultimates for Delaware. So, you know, you're going to be facing a High Noon. You're going to be facing a Graviton Surge as well. You do have the sound barrier to fight it, so you're going to have that ace in the hole. Oh, no!
Milk. Milk just gets the mine onto Reginald, just throwing it in there. Will hit the lucky mine, and now it's a brawl. He picks on both sides. Here comes High Noon from Speedy, not going to get much and get taken down. Now, it's last fight territory for University of Cincinnati. They need a miracle to get something going. Reinhardt will come on, will use the shatter, but it'll go right into Savic's shield. Milk will take him down, and it's just nothing left. University of Delaware will make a powerful statement that they are not out of this yet.
Yeah, I mean, if that's their rush composition, oh my word. Because they had a extreme measure of lethality there, gaming, and I mean, dude, that was just everything that they could have hoped for. Now we head to Gardens. Now here's kind of the outlier for me of all the maps here in Lijiang. Do you go with a ball? Do you go with mobility to really establish your presence on the point? I like what I'm seeing out of Delaware here. If they're going to go ahead and run this Sombra, that's absolutely going to throw a wrench into Cincinnati's plans of keeping this point.
Absolutely. And now we're running into the third point, of course. Now, if you're doing anything, you need to win this point. Both these teams, they want to start up in the map count. They'll have to win this point. Cincinnati's, of course, going to use that symmetric to get the early positioning onto the point. Good advantageous. It's a good advantage to have, but it can't win you every single map. Of course, Pod is actually going to go down, and the team will come in on Silver Talons. Not too winnable, not too losable for either side, I guess. Savic's gonna get taken down, gonna get chunked down by that focus beam. Barring out, the Moira is going to fall, and you just can't sustain a fight when you lose your main support like that. In Delaware, we forced to retreat.
Yep, I mean, Andog and Windmill right now combining up on these kills and really just pressuring down the DPS of Delaware. I mean, Savix is having a hard time staying up. And you've got the advantage in the healing as well. I mean, you're running the Moira and the Lucio, so I mean, your burst healing has got to be higher. Your just raw output is higher, and they're still getting burned down in a quickness. Coalescence coming out early though.
Oh, the EMP catches 5. The EMP from Milk catches 5, but somehow still Speedy is going to find 2 kills. Seems like eventually the kills will start to turn to Delaware, but it's not over yet. Already going to launch a point-blank volley of rockets. They'll shatter. Shattered, but the self-destruct takes down 2 on the Mercy. There's no resurrection for that when your Mercy is dead. Comes the bomb from Echo and Dog. He's just going to get that double kill bomb onto both supports, and that is just the turnaround you need at your University of Cincinnati, and you're keeping the point.
Yeah, absolutely massive duplicate coming out of Andog there. The 2K self-destruct, just stopping all the aggression coming in. We're approaching 75% here. You still have the regular self-destruct, also the photon barrier. You're going to be able to deny a lot of progress onto this point. The sound barrier also available to Cincinnati to keep them up throughout anything that Delaware wants to throw at them in the next couple of seconds.
Absolutely. In the University of Delaware, they only have the beat, and it's not going to help Ice. Not right now. There comes the beat from Reginald, and Pod is going to die early. Not going to be able to charge the beat. Solo burnout. There goes both supports. Delaware, they have to stall out, but they have no healing. They have no health. Now they have no chance, it seems. We'll try and get this stagger, and unless Pod is going to be able to get a massive stagger, we'll get the beat off before dying, which is crucial, but it will be only on to themselves, as now Pod will just try and get something going. The stick Ice actually sticks Windmill. This could be crucial if Windmill goes down. Windmill does go down. Silver Talon throws in the self-destruct. We'll find Ice, and now this is still going. And University of Cincinnati, the coalescence coming out from the copy to Andog is a 6-man EMP. There's just no one to follow up. No one on the University of Cincinnati can use any of their abilities, but it doesn't seem to matter as Windmill. Pod will take down Andog on the Echo, but it just doesn't seem like enough. Savic's spinning to win, seeming like Beyblade here. He might just actually stall this out enough for another clean fight from the University of Delaware. Delaware going again. Reginald is going to beat again. He upcharged that beat entirely in that last fight, and now Milk from Delaware is actually going to get taken down on the Doomfist with this quick rollout. Here comes 40 with the Diva Bomb, not going to find anything. And Dog going to take down the remecking Diva, and it just seems like a matter of time. The University of Cincinnati struggling here to focus these staggers. Somehow I feel like when a University of Delaware member steps off the point, Pod will eat again, but as soon as the University of Delaware steps off the point, they're going to just immediately, overtime whip will just burn really fast here. University of Cincinnati will eventually, once that overtime whip burns down, take the point and this first map.
That was the fight that never ended. That was a good 90 seconds of stall there coming from Delaware, and that's maybe a bit concerning going forward here for University of Cincinnati not being able to finish out a map. But, they do get the first map on the board here in our preliminary round to see if they can get into the quarterfinals. They do take it 2-1 there on Lijiang Tower. And as I mentioned before, it's going to be loser picks the next map, as well as picking where they want to attack or defend. So, they've got Blizzard World and Kings Row to choose from here. So, if we're looking at what we saw there on Lijiang Tower, especially Control Center, if I'm Delaware, I'm picking a brawl-centric map. I think that you absolutely want to get in there and swing. I think running the Rhine Zarya here for them would be beneficial. I think you could also run the Rhine Diva for the damage mitigation, also the self-destruct to get yourself back into a mech quicker than having to come back from spawn. So, it all depends on how they want to run this. I think that absolutely they had the better brawl, as we saw in Control Center. They took it 100 to zip. It wasn't even close. Positionally, for them, they were able to hold chokes as they needed to. They were able to take the fights on their own terms. So, Cincinnati need to be very mindful of that when they find out which map they're going to go to.
Absolutely. And I think that if we're looking at this, it, Cincinnati is going to go into this next map with a bit of a disadvantage. Of course, they are up in score, but it's Delaware's choice what the map is and what side they're on. So they have so much power in giving themselves every single advantage coming into the next map. So it'll be up to Cincinnati to equalize and to play their game better than Delaware can.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Delaware right now, I'm looking at that control center. How they just absolutely destroyed Cincinnati's composition, top to bottom, especially Milk on that Junkrat. I don't know if you necessarily can run the Junkrat. I mean, I've seen worse happen on Scrims Row, but yeah, I mean the Rhine that they had running out there. I mean, I thought that they played very well. I thought they played very controlled in the control center. Not to make too much of a pun of myself there. But I think that the positioning and running the Zarya there as well, their Baptiste player really was able to showcase how to really maximize the benefits of having that Baptiste on the field.
Absolutely.
And it does. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, definitely. And looking at map 2, you had a really good rush composition played by Delaware, and I think they realized that is their strength against the University of Cincinnati because we're going to be heading off to Kings Row.
Well, I expect to see a steady diet of either Ryan Zarya or Ryan Diva coming out here. We'll see if they run what has kind of become, at least in the Tier 2 scene, the May and the McCree running alongside of an Ana Bap or a Bap Lucio. I've seen both run in the higher tier scene. So we'll see what happens here with Delaware. I think that if you do happen to run the Ana, then you have to counter with a Diva to be able to eat those Bionades coming in. Also trying to eat the sleep darts. So I mean, it just depends on what kind of healer comp is going to come out here. We need to what kind of DPS they're going to run here, because right now the standard is Ryan Zarya or Ryan Diva. You can run the double bubble too if you really want to. I think the Diva really takes the necessity out of having to run that Winston to be able to contest high and low. So we'll just see. University of Delaware has decided they want to come out on the defense. So we'll see the Bearcats of Cincinnati come out on the offense. Let's take a look at what Delaware is running. And yep, they are absolutely running what is the standard comp right now. They are going to bring out the May and the McCree. So you're wanting to cordon off the members of Cincinnati, mainly Windmill and Silver Talon, really try to burst them down behind the May wall. So, I mean, it's going to be on SMG as a substitute coming in on the BAP, running the Ana. So, yep, we're going to see the Ana coming out from Cincinnati. So Bionades are going to absolutely be the forefront of their composition right now. Got to focus down those anti-targets.
100%. The SMG, on the Ana, you've absolutely seen an Ana just play so well and hit a massive anti-nade that, well, SMG switched to Baptiste, so that point is now moot. But Chu on the Zen is being so aggressive and playing so well, already charging up 34% of the ultimate, getting the Discord orb onto those important targets like Savix, so that the University of Cincinnati can focus them down. Usually, I think Savix is not trying to cleanse himself of that, of the Discord orb, and if he is, it's not going to help, as Speedy will just take him down. Already Delaware down in this hotel, and Cincinnati is not ready to keep them there. They're just going to run back into them. Now is actually going to take down SMG with the window. It's just not going to be enough in 5.5 minutes on the clock in the University of Cincinnati.
This is what my good friend Bull Skunk would call a greedy back line from University of Cincinnati. The Zen and the Baptiste. I mean, you're getting maximum output not only from the healing from SMG, but also the Discord and the raw damage coming out of the Zenyatta. So this is right now the quandary for Delaware is how do you negate the Discord orb. Of course, you've got to try and get the dive in onto Chew. Bordy right now is going to have to really make that their focus when they go in.
Absolutely, but Windmill just gets the charge on the Savage, and with that aforementioned Discord orb from Chew, it's just so hard. Oh, Speedy. Oh, Speedy. Just threading the needle with the High Noon, picking up a triple, and oh, it's just disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting, my friend. And I mean, that's what you pay the big bucks to your hit scan player for, is being able to nail those shots with a regularity there. And I mean, we're looking at Shatter coming up for Cincinnati here. They're going to get the second point without the contest.
Oh no, that's not good. Windmill's actually going to throw in the Shatter, and a little bit of a miscommunication as both the University of Delaware were away from that. Windmill still pick up Savix and Milk. Windmill a little upset at missing that Shatter, gonna pick up a double kill, and Cincinnati has just been dominating. Delaware has just been pushed back into their spawn.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unmeasured aggression coming out of Cincinnati right now. They haven't had to use a support ultimate yet.
That is true. Delaware is going to double up using the beat, using the window. Going to use the High Noon as well, just trying to get something going. But no, he's just going to come up and cold as ice take him down.
I see what you did there, and I highly approve of it. So, I mean, now, you know, the spawn camp is kind of sort of on here. They've got to fight their way out of spawn, but they do have dueling blizzards coming out. So it's going to be who gets off the better blizzard. Can you force the immortality barrier out of both of the Baptistes here? Also, self-destruct into blizzard could be a theme for both teams as well.
Milk is going to throw out Milk is going to throw out the blizzard early, and Speed's actually going to throw in a flashbang that will affect multiple people. And Dog's blizzard will come in later, and still the picks are going the way of the University of Delaware, which is wonderful for them. SMG will fall. Soul and Dog. There's the bomb. To gonna get anything. 40 just barely going to miss that. Both Divas, all those ultimates going to go out. You won't find much. Delaware will come out on top. Cincinnati's still trying to contest, but it's too little, too late.
Yep, Sound Barrier won them that fight, the previous fight as well. So, I mean, they had all the aces up their sleeve, got a very clean fight win. And now you've taken 2 minutes off the clock here on point C. Deadeye is available for both teams, but you've got the Transcendence coming up for Chew. There's a window out from Burnout.
Yeah, the window and the wall from Milk is just going to do so much harm to anyone, and Ice will hit the High Noon, and the Shatter from Windmill just finds 5 people on the ground to get a double kill with the Fire Strike, and now the University of Delaware is on a full retreat, but they can't retreat from Windmill and Andog. They're just gonna take them all down.
Yep, and we're going to have the battle to see who gets the Blizzard out first. You also have window available to SMG here, so you could use that on tempo and really try to pin them back.
The window will come out from SMG very early. There's the beat from Pod 3600. Milk goes low. Savix with the Shatter finds 3 on the ground. Talon will get demeched. And even on the point, when you're this close to the spawn, an even fight is good for the defense, but there's still, as soon as I say that, Cincinnati starts taking out the big guns, and they're gonna use them on Delaware. Delaware just getting taken down in 2 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock. That's a good King's Row.
Yeah, I mean, they really solidified their defense there, though, if you were Delaware. I mean, they took 3 minutes off the clock there. They rolled in there with 5 minutes and 15 seconds. So, I mean, Delaware, you know, drew their line in the sand. They got their ultimate rotation back into equilibrium, and they really started to cycle in well. I just think that Cincinnati, you know, with that Shatter that came out from Windmill and taking down the immortality barrier, they were able to push forward from there. And it was all just a measure of timing their ultimates out, letting one stagger and then pushing Q into the next one. So they really had the nice rotation coming out there. So, there is a definite sense of urgency here for Delaware. They're going to have to get in there relatively close to the time of Cincinnati because, we've seen, this go to overtime many, many times. We've seen the extra innings coming out on Kings Row. Probably one of the most played maps throughout the collegiate scene, also in a lot of the other tiers, other competitions. So, teams know what they want to do here. I saw Silver Talon get an eat on that Blizzard at the very end of Blizzard of point C. So, the only thing I would really ask for more of is, if you're going to use the self-destruct, make sure that you got the team around you so you can get back into your mech and you don't waste that precious resource.
Doors are going to open, and we'll see the University of Delaware. They're in the hot seat. They need to, as you said, they need to finish, and not just finish, they need to finish with comparable time to University of Cincinnati. They're going to try their best here. The wall is going to come out on both sides. Andog will get stunned early, and Speedy will go down. Speedy has been making a lot of good plays. That's definitely something you want to see. Oh no, Ice is going to get caught out on the flank and get taken down. SMG will get found out at the same time. And if you had to choose between a McCree or a Bap, I would rather have the Baptiste on my team. And now Savix swinging for the fences, Windmill will fall, and now Savix is just free to just swing as he pleases. And the University of Delaware pushing so far forward, they're going to take this first point pretty quick, and you about the same time as the University of Cincinnati.
Yep, absolutely. And the late stagger there on the Silver Talon, that's going to be a late addition back into the fight. You're going to have to use these May walls very creatively to stop the progress of Delaware right now. They are with a full head of steam. I think you pull back against this second corner, just let them get into it and just LOS out of the sight of that window.
That might be what you want to do. University of Delaware going to early pop the window on that corner, and they're trapped there. The University of Cincinnati, we use theirs, and now she's on the other foot. Burnell to get taken down, and SMG, well, no, has his Blizzard ready to throw it in, just waiting for the opportunity. Don't want to get it eaten by Silver Talon like the last time. Milk just trapped in the room, nothing really happening for them, and unfortunate amount of also a lot of ultimates coming out here. Milk and Andog both going to throw them out, and I knew Speedy will find one pick onto Pod, and so many ultimates from the University of Delaware, and they're still going to get pushed back.
Yeah, and right now, if they should be able to hold underneath Archway here, they could really stall this out. They've got the window to help do that, but they're also going to be facing Burnout's window as well. Self-destruct from both sides also.
Absolutely, and I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but here comes the bomb on 40. And back here again, Savix will get taken down. Ice. That bomb just didn't do what 40 would have wanted, and there goes a little bit of a pause. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. Now back in sync with the stream, so we should be back in business.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a frozen screen there, but I think it was coming back up to it. So we'll see if my screen does come back up here. I see us. Yep. Looks like we'll be heading back into the match here very shortly. It absolutely is.
Yeah,
but
seems to be cursed.
Yeah, but right now Cincinnati is doing a good job holding Bookstore. They did let go of the Archway, but they were able to really push in on top of Delaware. And once we saw the main tank go down for Delaware, that was all she wrote. So we'll see what comes out of this next fight. The Diva battle is on in earnest, And they're starting to push back under Archway here. So they have everything that they need here. That's an unfortunate demeching of 40.
40 gets demeched, going to have to reset their ultimate just to get back into the mech so that they don't lose the time. Fortunately, 40 did use that ultimate pretty recently. Not a lot of charge lost. Now Ice on this line trying to get something going against the University of Cincinnati. They were able to hold under the archway, had to go back. Oh, Silver Talon gets caught out. Gonna throw in and self-destruct, and it'll find two. Oh, Silver Talon. Even when it seems like their backs are against the wall, University of Cincinnati somehow pulls out a miracle.
Yep, and now we've got Sneaky Cowboy in the back line. I think they know he's up there. Yep.
Metal Gear.
Not sneaky enough.
You hear the exclamation point, Metal Gear Solid there, and Ice just gets caught out and staggered out.
Oh man, he had Deadeye. I know what he was trying to do there, but I mean, just the awareness of Silver Talon to go out and check their flank, absolutely huge there. Shatter available, but that's a huge fire strike coming in for Speedy.
Speedy's gonna go down. The Shatter from Windmill will just go right into Savic's shield, and Ice will find SMG with the High Noon. She was beat, won't do much for the University of Cincinnati as where it's just going to start pulling back. Both the support's going to get some kills, and 40 will help next Silver Talon. The University of Delaware will start to pull this payload forward.
Yep, it's going to be dueling blizzards here around the next corner. They might have enough time to get up and recontest this point, but I'm liking what Delaware's doing. They're pushing forward. I think they might even invest the window when it comes up for burnout, really to try and hold off the pressure coming in from Cincinnati. $1:35 left on the clock, and they need to get this point in with some reasonable time. Otherwise, they're going to be facing a massive time bait difference.
There goes the window from burnout, like you said, just trying to relieve the pressure, but it just gets more pressure. Silver Talon's going to eat Milk's Blizzard with the Defense Matrix. Silver Talon will get demexed with the Shatter from Savic. Ice just lands the double kill High Noon to keep Delaware's hopes alive. And the Blue Hens, the Delaware Blue Hens, they're going to reach they're going to reach point C. But will they? They're not going to have as much time as Cincinnati.
No, and they're also facing both DPS ultimates here as well. So, I mean, Blizzard's going to be able to stall them if it doesn't exterminate them with the High Noon into it. Really, Cincinnati's win condition here, pull out the immortality barrier of burnout and then just lay loose with your DPS ultimates. Really stagger them out and just burn as much time off as you can.
Alright, going into Speedy's is gonna find the earthquake on the pod, burnout will fall. There's both supports, and that's just a quick fight for the University of Delaware. They're just gonna be pushed right back into spawn. Ice will get staggered out late, and Cincinnati will just run over Delaware.
I mean, you're coming up on a 5-pack for University of Cincinnati. Nice ultimate discipline there from them, only to invest the Deadeye into that. They absolutely did what they needed to do. This is going to be huge.
Oh, good night, Savage. Just caught between a blizzard and a self-destruct. That's just not where you want to be. I can think of very few places I'd rather not be than there.
He had no way to shield himself either because he was in the Shatter animation, so no way to put the shield up there as well. Window available to SMG here. I think he throws here on the corner and just destroy them with damage.
Oh, 40 with that self-destruct. Go find Windmill. Bit of a payback to Savic. I'm just trying to hold this window to keep the University of Cincinnati from using it. SMG takes down Ice. That's daring. SMG is able to take down Ice during the High Noon so that Ice just cannot get that ultimate off. And Savic goes off the side of the map. Chu gets the boot onto Savic even with the steadfast passive from Reinhardt. Chu was just able to get all of those kills. Will get taken down by Mill, but Dog will take down both Mill and the Baptiste.
Yeah, I mean, final fight territory here. We're closing in on 10 seconds, and I mean, you're gonna have the sound barrier from Pod to keep people up. He's gonna have to pop it and maybe just to keep himself up to touch the point.
That is what Pod will do. We'll get it onto Morty as well, but it'll just be onto Baby Diva. Now, Cincinnati, Chu is just waiting for someone to step too close to that pit. They'll eventually have to run back. Cincinnati is holding strong. There goes the Diva Bomb from Morty. It'll find Windmill, and Morty gets the remake kill onto Chu. 40. The experimental changes haven't gone through. 40 knocks Speedy off the side. 40 is just using every single part of Diva's kit and doing so well with it, keeping Delaware in this. Pick will come through on a Savick. Will go down. Pick on Hand Dog. The stack. The spawns from Cincinnati do go faster than Delaware, but Delaware seems to be dealing with them pretty well. Ice, now on the Doomfist, has a chance to finish in overtime to keep this from becoming match point for Cincinnati.
Self-destruct is available, though. Also, sound barrier will be available in just a few percentage points. Let's see what they can get out of this.
Here comes Silver Talon self-destruct. It'll find the immortality field. Andog actually finds the pick onto Ice and Burnout. Andog has 2. Now, Delaware, they need to win this fight. But Chu seems determined to make them lose it. The point, it actually finishes. The Shattered Savick keeps Cincinnati off the point just long enough for Delaware to finish in overtime. Sadly, they cannot win this, Delaware. They can keep Cincinnati within arm's reach by holding for 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
Oh, I thought that they had Shatter C9 themselves off the point. They're pursuing the kills, but thank goodness they had somebody on the point there. But as you mentioned, no chance to win this here, only looking at a draw. And if we look back at what Cincinnati did on their initial attack, they took that first point rather rapidly. So, I mean, it's going to have to be all to play for here for Delaware. You've got to come out with really patience. Take the fights when you want to take them. Make sure your cooldowns are all in order. Otherwise, this is going to be match point for Cincinnati. The number 10 seed coming in here into our preliminaries over the 7th seed Delaware Blue Hens. So we'll see what they do here. I don't see any changes coming out from Delaware. Cincinnati flashing the Widow, seeing if they can get an early pick here, but I assume they will go over to the McCree rather quickly after that.
Not even going to try the Widowmaker, going to go back to the McCree with the Ana instead of the Lucio for the support. So a lot more raw output of healing from the Ana as well as the anti. You're gonna get slept from the spawn door. Chew, that's not. You can't just do that, Chew. That's just disrespectful. Already coming out. Away from the statue, Speedy has this flank onto the side. The walls will come out and a double stun from, I assume, Speedy's flashbang. Morty will get the early pick, and Delaware, their first fight, they are going to hold, so better than round 1. But they got to do a lot more than just keep just that if they want to keep Cincinnati at bay. And Dog will get staggered out, and that's good for the University of Delaware.
Yeah, we're gonna have warring Deadeyes here. It's gonna be the shootout at the OK Corral in the middle of London here in just a few seconds. Looking at other ultimates coming up, Burnout does have their window ready to go, so you can stop the aggression coming in with that. But SMG could answer with one of their own.
Dueling windows at this point now, as SMG and Burnout will both throw their amplification matrix, basically shutting down that point. Here comes Speedy. It's high noon, but here comes the Reinhardt, stunning Speedy out of the high noon, and Cincinnati getting the picks, all of the picks. They're just taking it all. The aggression is too much for Delaware to handle, and Cincinnati will take that point.
Yep, they're absolutely facing match point now. And man, what a very singularly dominant performance from Cincinnati. I did not expect it to go that way based upon what we saw on Control Center and Lijiang Tower. Ice, though, really keeping his team in it with these Deadeyes. We saw him land a couple of multi-kill Deadeyes here on King's Row, but not enough to keep them up through the streets phase of the map here. So, man, this is almost a one-sided performance coming out of Cincinnati. They absolutely took the aggression to Delaware. Delaware did not have the answer to it. So we'll see if they can close it out 3-0 or if Cincinnati is going to come back on our next map. It's going to be an escort map. They're going to have a choice between Junkertown and Gibraltar, or I'm sorry, Hanamura. So, man, what do we see here?
I'm not sure, but we're gonna be going to a quick and short break. And when we come back, we'll see what the University of Delaware is gonna be able to do to bring this back and just try and start their reverse sweep, or what Cincinnati is gonna do to shut out Delaware and completely upset. We'll see you then. And we're back. Here, before we went to break, we saw the University of Cincinnati, what we thought were our underdogs. Well, they took 2 maps off of Delaware Esports, and they're looking for a third to close out this 3-0 sweep. Delaware, they need to start this reverse sweep, and they need to start it strong as we go to our third and potentially final map, Hanamura.
Yep, and once again, this is University of Delaware's map choice, and they also got to choose the side. So they're choosing the defense first. They want to see what kind of mark they're going to have to hit on their attack phase. Bring out a little bit of a different composition here. We've got the double shield tank line coming out with a Torbjorn and a Ashe. No damage boost for the Ashe. That's a little bit concerning for me, but I think you're looking for more for the long-range poke of the Viper, and we're looking at a little bit of a greedy backline once again in the Zenyatta and the Baptiste, rounding out their support line.
That they are. You have a lot of damage potential from those supports. In this double shield, here comes OSpeedy on the Symmetra, looking for those teleports to see where they're trying to teleport to. Where they go? I think they went up top to high ground. Now they're just running into this bunker, and that you don't want a Reinhardt in your face if you're playing bunker. The University of Delaware, they just can't much of anything. Andog on the Junkrat will eventually get taken down by the Dynamite. 40 and Milk are going to get picks of their own. 40 and Milk going to be a dynamic duo of death. They'll hold for Delaware.
75% out of that first fight. We saw the Dynamite come from Milk from the high ground, really just take it to Cincinnati, and they just did not have the sustain to really keep them up through all that burst damage. I mean, that Sigma is a huge pick right now. You've got the CC also, the damage mitigation of the Kinetic Grasp. So, I mean, right now, you know, a little bit of a compositional switch coming out from OSpeedy. You're seeing the Sniper and the Archer, or the Cowboy and the Archer coming out. So we'll see what they can get out of this.
Andog will find the early pick, but it'll be immediately equalized by Ice and that turret, taking down a low OSpeedy. Andog now the only DPS for Cincinnati, trying to keep his hope alive on the attack. Coming close to a first pick, and they will get it without a contest. 40 though will find a pick with the ultimate, and eventually Delaware will come in to contest, taking down the Lucio and repelling Cincinnati again. They'll give it to them.
Yeah, a bit hard right here for the Archer and the Cowboy to get through the double shielding. They're still contesting, but I don't expect that to last very long. I mean, we're looking at ultimates coming up for sides right now. I mean, we've got 4 on the board right now for Delaware. Nothing for Cincinnati as of yet. Windmills being held a little bit scoreless here with the Reinhardt. So, I mean, right now, you know, if you're looking at Delaware, you're thinking, I've got half the time off the bank already. You've got Transcendence to stall the point out as well. You can hold that and launch it at your leisure. So, I mean, you've also got the bomb that's going to be able to stall as well. So they've got everything in their plans right now.
Here comes the Bongo early from Savix. going to do so much damage with the Ash Dynamite, and Delaware will just evaporate Cincinnati on this attack. And we're seeing a completely different Delaware. It seems like they've woken up the beast, Cincinnati, and Delaware have just been taking them to school.
Indeed, they have it. I mean, look at 40 right now. Used the Gravitic Flux in the last major fight on the point, almost has it again. 1 minute left, and I mean, you're coming up on 4 ultimates here for Cincinnati, almost 5.
There goes the shatter from Windmill. There's just nothing there for him to hit. Both immortalities and ice! They call him ice, but his blades are hot. And so was the Molten Core. And Cincinnati, they have to be sweating bullets here. They were dominant before, but they're just getting taken down.
It was a very expensive fight, though. It cost them 4 ultimates into that fight. They still have the Transcendence on the line, but I mean, you've got 3 ultimates coming up from Cincinnati right now.
Speedy's gonna go down early, so will SMG, and you can't use your ultimates when you're dead, Delaware says, and that's what they're doing. Cincinnati, they're just hiding here. They need to get the touch onto the point to trigger overtime. That's what they need right now. That's what they're trying to do. The self-destruct from Silver Talon thrown in as a last-ditch effort. Ice turret will take down Silver Talon. One last person staggering and stalling out for University of Cincinnati. SMG will get 1 pick. It might not be enough. SMG is trying to keep this alive for Cincinnati, but it's just not enough, and 47.2% is all they can get, and Delaware, it's a different team.
I think they handed their mouse and keyboard to their older brothers or sisters. I'm not sure, because this is a completely different squad that we saw in from the first 2 maps. I love the clapback, though. I love the fact that they did not put their heads down and just accept the 3-0 defeat. They have come out to play, ladies and gentlemen, and all my non-binary friends out there. This is on. This might be the beginning of a reverse sweep, because Cincinnati probably thought they had it in the bag, and compositionally, they just got outplayed there. The double shield variant for the defense for Delaware absolutely stifling Cincinnati, and they're going to have to come out with a lethality. They're going to have to really hold it for 4 minutes here, and I mean, we saw Delaware do it, so let's see if University is a member of the Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better club. I mean, their defense, they're bringing out Ospidi on this McCree again. We've seen a very good performance out of them today on that hero. Andog bringing out the Junkrat, and I like this because you can spam the choke. You can really control that initial choke, and then, of course, Riptire can be thrown in any number of avenues here to get on top of Delaware, so they're really going to have to watch what they bring here. And if I'm seeing what I'm seeing out of the University of Delaware, they're going to bring out the Celtic Pride tank line, which is the German and the Dutchman. And man, if they teleport to point, if any kind of success here, they're going to have double shield to worry about.
That is true. Andog could be very dangerous here. Oh, the stun. 3 people stunned. There comes the charge from Windmill. Andog gonna be very dangerous when you teleport over. You're all really grouped up. And Windmill taking advantage of that fact, getting 71% ult charge. Cincinnati, they're saying we're not done yet. We're still a good team.
Yeah. 1 fight, 91% for Windmill to shatter. So, absolutely value being gained there. Now, Bordy is not getting near as much of the value as we saw on the defense so far, because he was already 81% to Gravitic Flux after the first fight on their defense. So I think that you're worried about really trying to get in on top of them, and they're just being absolutely thwarted.
No, Burnout goes down early. Ice just teleports straight into a trap and a mine, courtesy of Andog and University of Cincinnati. They're pulling out the Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better.
They do have a problem, though, K-Wing, and the problem is that Shu has gone down 10% to that Transcendence, and Teleporter is going to get them on the point. So the Discord's going to be off the board right now. So they're in a bit of a power play right now. Andog is going to have to absolutely keep them at bay until Zenyatta can get back.
He does have the Riptide to do that. And will launch it. Going to wait until Delaware comes onto the point, come around behind them, get something. There goes the Baptiste. There goes the Lucio. Chu is back and better than ever. Chu is back and better than ever. As 2 picks going. Chu is back.
Let's go.
Getting 3 picks. I'm gonna repeat that line until he stops getting picks.
Oh man, it only cost him the 1 ultimate into that fight, half the time off the board. So what I thought was going to be a little bit more difficult of a situation for Cincinnati has now turned into equal footing, and they've got a 5-pack of ultimates to really defend against this point. Hold your Transcendence for the Gravitic Flux and see what you can get out of it.
Here comes the Teleporter with the Photon variant from Symmetra. There goes the window. We'll take down Bruno. There goes that main support for Delaware. Pod will pop the... Oh, there's so many ultimates I can hardly keep track. But Savix will go down for Delaware. Oh, the pin. 40 gets pinned by Windmill. The University of Cincinnati. And will find some picks as well. They're holding Delaware. They've barely even sniffed the point.
I mean, really. I mean, they've just been stifled out here. Windmill has been absolutely huge for them. Also, Chu. That Discord Orb is really rearing its ugly head here. And they're still trying to push this Symmetra strategy, and I just don't know what they're going to be able to get out of Andog!
Andog is just waiting for them, and he'll just say, not today. Both the tanks will jump off, maybe the Riptire. A bit of a mistake, but Andog deserves a mistake, and he still gets a break with it.
Oh man, they have self-destruct as well for this next fight, K-Wing. So I mean, even if Silver Talon does happen to be demech, they're going to get the quick remech and get themselves back in the fight and keep that damage mitigation going up.
That is true. It's also a really good way to zone off the point. We're just doing this. They're doing this over and over again. The Symmetra Teleporter. I don't think it's going to work. They're using that old quote, misattributed to Einstein, that doing the same thing over and over again that's the definition of insanity. And Delaware are going to be the victims of an insane hold.
That's a match point gained and taken by University of Cincinnati. They take the 3-0 sweep over the University of Delaware here in our preliminaries. They stamp their ticket into the quarterfinals, and they're going to be facing Marist College here in our quarterfinals in their next match, I do believe.
That is true. Oh, just look at Ice, that molten core, to help their team hold, but still, it's just not enough. And it feels like that was the story for the University of Delaware. They pushed well on Kings Row for round 2, but it just wasn't enough. They had a good hold for their defense on Hanamura, but it just wasn't enough. And it just feels like wasn't enough was the mantra of this game. The University of Delaware not playing poorly by any metrics. The University of Cincinnati just going to take it 3-0. University we thought was our underdogs coming in, 10th seed, last seed in the bracket. They're moving on, and they're moving up.
Yeah, I think the aggression that they showed was the real winner of the day for Cincinnati. They just did not take no for an answer, sometimes investing some really weird ultimates, what I thought may have been costly to them. I think a couple of questionable support ultimates from Delaware also led to their demise. So we will see them facing the number 2 seed Marist College. In our next match, we're going to go to a little bit of a break, but when we come back, we will have that match for you. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be with you in just a few moments.
Welcome back. Before we went to break, we saw the University of Cincinnati take it 3-0 over the University of Delaware, and we're here with one of the players, SMG. SMG, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Doing good. Doing good. I wanted to get your feelings on qualifying for the national tournament after such a long season. How does that make your team feel?
We feel really good about it. We were kind of like iffy as like, oh, are we gonna make it? Are we not gonna make it? But I'm really happy that we were able to get into the playoffs, and we're happy to be here. We want to do our best.
That's awesome. Now, coming into this, you were the 10th seed, and you were able to upset the 7th seed. Do you think you can continue that against your next opponent, the number 2 seed?
Yes, we feel really good about ourselves today. Something is just working really well, and we've done a lot of research as to what might not have been working in the past games. We've played Marist twice already, and we're going to be playing them another time today. And